Guys, we got to get him to the 1K. All
Listen,
right.
I'm
It's close.
I'm like 3/4. I'm at 925. I just need
We need
75 more
75 more.
people. That's it.
Listen, there's 77 people watching right now. Go to Mo's channel. Mo's,
Yeah,
you are
but a good
admin.
we're
Put
not
the
gonna do
link
that because
in.
a good amount of these people already
Okay.
sub to
All right.
me.
Well, I
So
tell you what, when the next 75
I
join,
appreciate our family in the chat.
for
But
sure.
if you in the chat and you not subscribed to Mo's, no, just just hop on over there real quick and then hop back. Just hit the subscribe button.
Yeah,
Come
or
part
you
of Mo's
stay there,
fam.
watch it
Listen, you
there.
already know.
Yeah.
Once you're part of the family, I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Nothing you can do about it. Once you end the family, you ain't never leaving the family. There's only one way out. Dion.
It's only one way out of the I-9s, and that's in a box.
That's in a
box. In a box.
In a box.
In a box.
In
a
box. Yes. If you're already subscribed, thank y'all so much, man. 90 Game Podcast. Thank you for becoming a member. My brother Dion. I'll be seeing you on Friday. Listen, I think I land around 5:45 p.m. Whatever.
Pacific. Dion going to Vegas too?
Dion gonna be in Vegas. So Dion, that text message is coming shortly. You know what I'm saying? And it's good. So Dion, I hope to see you on Friday. Listen, I gotta go to a rehearsal, D. So if you want to rock with Breezy, I gotta go to a musician's rehearsal. You want to see how I get down? You can hang with me for the night. If so, it's up to you though, bro. But Dion is gonna be in the building. I get to meet up with Taryn. I get to meet up with Mariah. All the Vegas family is gonna be there. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be real fun. But thank you so much for becoming a member, Dion. And we got to start the show off with the lovely, the vivacious Miss Jacqueline Knox, who just is a cheerful giver, cheerful contributor is what I like to say. She says, "Good morning, Niner family. Let's effing go. 12-4. I'm calling it. I've been right these last few games. You're gonna continue to be right because Moses is gonna break it down on why we gonna win this game again, like for the ninth straight time, right? We already got 8, so we going for the 9th. Wow, this will be the first time, Mose, that Kyle Shanahan, when we win this game, have 9 straight victories in a row, bro. You can't tell me. And y'all talking about he shouldn't be coach of the year, Mose. I never asked you that question, so I gotta ask you the question. Why should Kyle Shanahan be coach of the year? You got 30 seconds. Go.
I don't even think I need that much because his team won the NFC West and they're going to the playoffs as a top 3 seed, all while doing it with 3 quarterbacks. Enough said.
End the discussion. Do I have the flex bomb? Hold up. Let's go. I don't know if you heard it, but it's there.
I heard it. It's there. I heard it
resonating too. That's it. That's the bomb, yo. Like, I know we advocate for our 49ers, but I mean, it's just like I feel like the disrespect and this is not trying to take away from what they're doing over in Philly or what Campbell's done in Detroit. I mean, that's great. You know what I'm saying? But Kyle got snubbed in 2019.
Yes, he did.
For him to get snubbed again, it's gonna be like, all right, cool. But maybe that's the fuel Kyle needs to
right
coach right. Maybe. I don't know. Guys, make sure you guys go ahead and hit that like button. All right. Subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe to the channel. Don't forget the podcast is on Apple Podcasts. If you guys don't know what Apple Podcasts is, fine. Don't worry. I know y'all know what Spotify is. Them the top 2. I don't know if anybody listening to anything else, but I know them 2 apps. If you got an iPhone, Apple Podcasts is there for free. If you have Spotify with an iPhone, I'm sure you guys know how to get to that. But check out the WayneBreezie Show. It's really fun to listen to. The last episode, I think, had one of its most listens and views, which was yesterday. I'll continue to put them out daily for you guys. And let's get that podcast up into some of the top 49ers content. But it takes you guys to do that. Don't forget to join the Patreon, patreon.com/WayneBreezie as well. And then I got to give a shout out to our partners and sponsors over there at Residency. Make sure you go ahead and cop one of the new Residency hats that they have out there, or an old one. They're releasing some of the ones that you didn't get before. All right, shout out to Residency. Go to www.residency.com. Use the promo code SFBreezy and save on your purchase today. One more time. Of the bomb, yo. Remember Aknelli dropping bombs on him, and then he came out with the super sexy, put it in your mouth. I was too Aknelli. I don't know if you remember that rapper. It might be before your time, but he had the song called like dropping bombs on him or something. And then he just came out with put it in your mouth. I was like, what the hell happened to Aknelli? I don't know, but yeah, it was just two different rappers, man. Listen,
Yeah.
bros. 49er news. Let's get to it because everybody wants to get to this Raiders breakdown and things like that. So let's go to some of the 49ers news and let's go to the roster spot because I got to get your thoughts on what the 49ers have done. You guys can see that they signed linebacker Curtis Robinson to the practice squad, and then they released cornerback Trey Swilling. Now, before Mo speaks, guys, Curtis Robinson, remember, he was on the IR at the beginning of the year. He made the active roster, was on the IR at the beginning of the year. And it was probably primarily used pretty much in special teams, but it felt like the 49ers had a hole at the cornerback position, so they had to release a guy, and the person that they released was Curtis Robinson because when Mooney got injured with the concussion, they went and picked up another cornerback, which was Trey Swilling, who is the son, I believe, of Pat Swilling. I believe we talked about that. And now he's been released and they re-signed him back to the practice squad. What are your thoughts on first Curtis Robinson being back? And then what are your thoughts on Trey being released? Just want to know what you think.
As far as Curtis Robinson, I feel like he's been here. Um, I think our linebacker core for the better part of the second half of the season has remained relatively healthy. We've seen a lot of Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw, and we've been talking about how we've seen so much of them that we haven't even seen Azeez Al-Shaair. We still have Azeez who's healthy and ready to go. Beyond that, we still have Oren Burke. So Curtis Robinson, I would hope we don't get to a point where we have to see him. But I think Curtis Robinson, because he's been here, he's been in the building. I think he has a better grasp of what we want to do on special teams. That's why he's here. The release of Trey Swilling, I mean, he came in, we saw what he was able to do. Obviously, we feel like Curtis Robinson can provide more from a special teams aspect if we need to call him up. And then additionally, that kind of, gives me an idea that our secondary, especially our corners, are a little bit more healthy than some of the fan base wants to believe. We know that Mooney has been dealing with some concussion issues and different things, but it seems as if we're letting that corner go, that room as constructed right now is a little bit more healthy than we think.
All right, man. And listen, I know he's a special teams guy. Shout out to the special teams too, because I mean, between George Odom, Orrin Burks, Ambry Thomas, who has been written off, he had a stick in this game. He hit somebody hard. I was like, okay, young Ambry, I think he just got to get reacclimated to football. He came in a little bit to me like not out of shape, but just didn't look more like a football player when he started this season off. And then I think that kind of tailed him off a little bit to developing. And we'll see what happens with Ambry Thomas going forward. He was a third round comp pick that the 49ers definitely used to draft him. So we'll see if he pans out. But yeah, I think the special teams just as a whole overall, you want as many great special team pieces as you can get. We don't know if he's going to be activated. If he does, that means they're going to obviously deactivate somebody. And who would that be? And so we got to kind of figure it out. But if they feel like he's going to give them a better chance on special teams, let me explain to you guys that special teams is not just where the players that can't make, you know what I'm saying, the starting offense or the starting defense. That's not what it is. Look at George Odom, right? Enough said. He's possibly going to be another all-pro special team player, and he's with the 49ers. This is why they went out and got him, because they knew that who was our special teams coach? Richard Hightower, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
He was struggling, and I don't believe he had all the right pieces. They bring in Brian Schneider. He gets all the pieces. Now, you saw Mo's firsthand what happened when defensive players, starters, and offensive starters got injured, and them special teams players had to go. What happened to the special teams? It almost looked like a Richard Hightower special teams, correct? Am I wrong? Because that's what it looked like. And the moment them players got healthy, bro, they came back. Special teams players went back to their natural positions. Now special teams looks dynamite. So special teams is an intricate part of what the 49ers need to do. It's that third level, it's that third wave, because it's field position. Sometimes games are won by flipping field position. So if Curtis Robinson is a special teamer, I'm glad to see that he's here. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. All right, Mose, I need you to take 20 seconds, right? And just post your link from YouTube into this chat. Because Marty Marr says he's on your page and he looks like he's the only subscriber. If that's what I'm seeing. And I know you have 900 and you should have 920 at least 6 subscribers. Pern, thank you so much for the compliment. I appreciate you, man. But yeah, as far as Trace Willing goes, I'm with Mose. Look, you brought him in, you got him some workouts, you got him, he gets to see what this defense is going to be like. And if 49ers have a little discrepancy in their defense, they can go ahead and call this player back. And so he'll be with the 49ers unless he gets picked up by somebody else. I mean, that can always happen, but the end of the season is on it's on its way out. You know what I'm saying? So not too big of news. I know everybody wants to know what's going to happen with like Deebo Samuel. Now, you did see that he's going to possibly, you know what I'm saying? And we talked about this yesterday, but I didn't get your thoughts on it. So he has the chance to return this week. Let's start right there. What are your thoughts on Deebo Samuel returning?
Only if he's 100%. Only if he's 100%, because I mean the offense has been able to move the ball without him, but he makes it that much more dynamic, and we have additional options on the field. It only makes the offense better. So I wouldn't want him to come in against a Raiders team that, for all intents and purposes, are out of it at this point. To then make the injury worse or re-injure himself or tweak something. So if he's 100% and he's ready to go, cool. If not, maybe wait until next week against the Cardinals. See if you can get him, some limited snaps in that game to just kind of get him ramped up for the playoffs, and then roll him out the next week. So it really all depends on where he is. I know he wants to play, but if he's being honest with himself and he's not 100%, then I don't think he should go.
Okay. Now, Elijah Mitchell is on track. His practice window is supposed to open on Friday, which means he won't 9 times out of 10 won't play this particular week if the practice window is open in that late. Had it opened on Monday, I think he would have been good to go for this game. So Friday. So Arizona is probably the target game. Do you think he should play in the Arizona game?
Yeah, I think Mitch should play in the Arizona game, kind of, warm his legs up for the playoffs. Same thing with Deebo. So not this game against the Raiders. I feel like we shouldn't have a problem against them. I don't think we'll have a problem against Arizona, but I feel like that's our tune-up game for any players that are coming back off injury. Deebo, Mitchell. I saw you had Kerry Hyder up there. Anybody that's coming back and that is able to play, get that tune-up game, in Arizona. Get a couple of snaps, get your conditioning right, get your legs warm, get them under you, and then be ready to go going into the playoffs. So if he can go against the Cardinals, give him limited snaps, give him anywhere from 5 to 10, 10 to 12 snaps. See what he can do with those carries and just getting warmed up.
Last but not least, if and only if he gets cleared to play, whether it's I'm assuming if players get cleared to play, let's just assume they're at 100%. Let's talk about Jimmy Garoppolo. You just mentioned tune-up games. If he's cleared to play and he's available for the Arizona game, do you tune him up?
You let Brock Purdy start, depending on where the game is.
Mm-hmm.
If by halftime we got the game locked up, then maybe you bring Jimmy in for the second half so that he can get warmed up. Only in the event
stipulation.
Only in the event that in the playoffs something happens to Brock Purdy. Let me knock on this wood right here. Something happens to Brock Purdy, and then he needs to come in and relief duties.
Yeah.
Not warm him up so that he can start in the playoffs. So depending on how the game goes, you start Brock Purdy. If the game is out of hand, then you bring Garoppolo in, let him get warmed up, let him test the foot, test the ankle, make sure everything is good. And that way, when the playoffs come, if he has to go in for whatever reason,
He's tuned up.
we don't have to worry about him being rusty or not ready. He's also tuned up.
Yeah, it's cool because we had a great call-in show yesterday, right? And so everybody that was on here, I mean, I was, me, I'm the devil's advocate. I straddle the fence. I try to give it to you from both sides and see, if I can kind of persuade you over to the dark side. But the cool thing was that everybody stood their ground. I thought that was on point. And John Vito came on and was like, "Hey man, you got to get him tuned up. Like if Jimmy's available to go, I would just let him play. Let Brock rest. Let this guy go out there again. Let him play the whole game. It's not going to challenge. It's not going to change anything. I think you still start Brock in the playoffs, but get Jimmy reacclimated because you cannot have what he did in Denver to happen in the playoffs. And so remember, he came in and relieved Trey. He was fine. And the moment he had to start a game, he was terrible. So I don't know what that means, going now. I mean, like Mike and I were talking about how Jimmy, was having his best season last night on Nothing But Niners. You were in the chat. And we were just talking about, and it was just like, it's not like Jimmy was playing piss poor. I mean, his interception ratio was down, his touchdown ratio was up. He was playing more confident. He just looked like a warrior out there. And then all of a sudden he gets injured, which you kind of had to know was going to happen. I mean, it's Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, it's almost inevitable, every time he steps out onto the field, but Brock Purdy is playing on the highest level at a great level. So like if you're playing on the highest level and you're excelling, then you can't remove that. You know what I'm saying? And if Kyle Shanahan did that, it would be such a disservice to, I don't know if it would be a disservice because only Kyle knows, but I feel like it would be some type of disservice. You know what I'm saying? If you can't change it, don't change it, Kyle. If it's working, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's kind of like that old cliche. And I don't see too many coaches that go against that model. We watch Jim Harbaugh do it. You watch the great Bill Belichick do it. Like coaches, when they find something and it works, they kind of stick with it. Do you think Kyle Shanahan would do the same thing? I know it's Kyle Shanahan. I know.
It's Kyle.
I know.
It's Kyle. So I don't know. I don't know.
I know. That's fair though. Not to cut you off. That's so fair. I can't. I think that's why I'm trying to keep this light of like open because I don't want people to be hurt if it happens. You get what I'm saying? People will be hurt. They will be like, "What the freak are you doing, Kyle? Like, what is going on?" And don't let it mess up. Then they coming for Kyle's job.
Yeah. I mean, that's so crazy. We just talked about him being coach of the year. And then if he makes this one change, everybody's gonna be like, yo, you're messing up the chemistry, the camaraderie. We have something really, really special going on here. Look, before Brock came in, we were on a winning streak. Brock just allowed us to continue that winning streak, which we are grateful and appreciative of. But I think here's where, and not to compare coaches, this is where Jim Harbaugh was a little bit different. Because once he put Colin Kaepernick in, he said, we're riding with the hot hand. And Kyle Shanahan is similar in that vein, or at least that's what he portrayed to us, at least when it comes to the running back position. He's going to go with whoever's hot at the running back position, whoever is popping off the big runs, has the more yards per carry. So I think in this instance, he has to keep the same energy. And right now, Brock and this offense are in a particular rhythm. And whether Kyle wants to admit it or not, he is in a different rhythm with Brock at the quarterback position.
True that.
Calling plays, scheming things up, making adjustments. This is the top tier Kyle Shanahan that people have quote unquote been looking for. So even him, he's in a different headspace right now with Brock at the quarterback, and they're in a flow and in a rhythm. I don't think you can knock that off. I don't think you can, immediately, cut the trajectory of that momentum off by making that move. So that's why I said last game of the season against the Cardinals, you start Brock, you go in with your scripted game plan, you make adjustments as necessary. Once you feel like the game is out of hand enough, bring in Jimmy Garoppolo, get him tuned up, with the caveat that going into the playoffs, this is Brock's team. And in the event that you need to come in, you're at least ready to go because we got you back acclimated to playing football again.
Hey, look, the 49ers guys, it wouldn't be the 49ers if there wasn't some type of drama that's going to probably stir itself up. But I tell you what, it's kind of caused internally. Like they 49ers can control the drama, I hope. So we'll see what happens. All I know is Brock is hot, and right now we need to beat the Raiders. And I know this is not a must-win game, but we need to beat the Raiders, right? I mean, it's just bragging rights, right? Kyle Shanahan could get 9 straight. There's a bunch of records that can be broken in this game. This is a lot riding on. We need to beat the Raiders, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We need to be, because now we're at the point of the season where we're close to the playoffs. So we need to go into that mindset of this is win or go home.
Mm-hmm.
This is leave everything out on that field for 60 minutes. Like you don't have time to take a play off. You don't have time to, not put your best effort in every single play or every single snap that you get on that field. So I think these late games, especially with us winning, they are helping to build that mental fortitude of we got to go out, we got to produce, we cannot take plays off, because the moment you take plays off against these upper echelon teams that we're going to see in the tournament, that could mean the end of your season.
Talk about it. You're right. Melissa, the John and Wayne show will be today at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's like 12:30 Pacific Standard Time. All right.
Yes.
And then I believe I'm trying to get all my live shows in today. So I think, Mose, you got a show tonight or tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
All right. So then I'm going to do the Madden challenge, the simulation tonight, probably around right after, immediately following the John and Wayne show. I'm going to go right to the Madden, get that out the way. That's a 2-hour show. You don't want to miss it. I can't wait to see what Madden does now, because all I'm going to do is talk about Madden. I can tell you that right now. Like, no, because they do the 49ers so dirty. Like the 49ers will come out like hot, and then then Kyle will call 17 quarterback runs, and then I'm like, Kyle, what are you doing? Like, stop. Like, I don't care who the quarterback is. Stop calling it. And then next thing you know, we turn the ball over. It gives momentum to the other team. And then boom. So we lost bad last week to the Commanders. I mean, bad. Like, real bad. But it did predict that Ray would get a touchdown. And Ray got a touchdown. So we'll see how it turns out today. I'm excited to do it. Those have been fun this year. Not because of watching them, but because of the chat. They are on a whole nother level. It's like level 45. Like they're on a different level. Level 49.
It's like they watching a real 49er game.
They watching a real 49er game. And I think my reactions are like, what the hell is Breezie? It's a video
Top
game.
tier.
No, it's not a video game. It's a simulation.
There's a difference.
There's a huge difference. So we'll be doing that today. That's the schedule for today. And then for the Patreon members, I'll definitely get the film breakdown for you guys. There'll be the Mike show, the Mike and Wayne, when we do the red light special that will resume in the new year, where we do that little debate show, because I want to enhance it. So we're gonna resurface that, and come the new year, that show will be back on there for Patreon members as well. So thank you guys for being there. All right, let's get down to some of the latest 49ers news before we get down to the breakdown of this game. Let's talk about this guy right here. So shout out to Akash. He put out this tweet, and I know it's scrolling because it's a lot, right? But Nick Bosa, second time this year, won Defensive Player of the Week. I want to put that out there as Defensive Player of the Week. Okay. But these are some of the stats that he had just against Washington. Now, what's interesting is Brandon Graham and Nick Bosa are the only two players that have won this award multiple times this season. Now, I don't know if you remember, Mose, Brandon Graham was a free agent at one point. I wanted him on this team. When we played him, this was before they signed. Matter of fact, this was before was it 2020 or 2019? What's the year we went to Philly? 2020? Can't remember.
No, last year, 2021.
2021. I'm sorry. I totally forgot a year. We went to Philly, right? And remember, he got injured that game. But that was the year they re-signed him, and I wanted to sign Brandon Graham. Brandon Graham is from Michigan. Nick Bosa is from Ohio State, and this is for the very first time in my entire life, I'm rooting for an Ohio State player, right? Because Nick Bosa clearly has been. Give me another Ohio State player, maybe Eddie George, maybe, that has the status of a Nick Bosa. I don't care what the position is that you come up with. Just give me a player. And Eddie George played in the NFL for a minute, and so he was in Ohio State.
Yeah.
Draft. But Nick Bosa is. I mean, you got. Oh, did you hear what Chase Young said about Nick Bosa, bro?
Yeah.
Chase Young, in my opinion, is a dominant defensive edge rusher in this league. And healthy, he's a mother freaking monster, in the words of Nicki Minaj. All I'm saying is, the way he credited Nick Bosa meant something to me. It did something to me. So I in the chat. Oh, I love you guys, Grizz.
Okay, that's what I was looking. I'm looking up some of these names.
I love it. This is what we're here for, bro. Listen, quick story. When I was in a lot of people don't know about Connecticut. When you mention the state Connecticut, you probably only think of Yale, right? I think you know, if you know that Yale's from my hometown, which is New Haven. Every year there's a Walter Camp dinner, right? So there's a Walter Camp dinner, and they bring in the top Walter Camp athletes of the year. And during this year, 1997, was the year that Orlando Pace was drafted, if I'm not mistaken. I got a chance to meet him, got his autograph and things like that. I was a junior in high school. Shout out to my coach Jenkins, who selected me to play. It really meant something to me as a fullback, running back. I was doing my thing in high school, though. You know what I'm saying? Then I got injured. But yeah, like that. That was a dope day. I got to meet him. I got to meet Dre Bly. I can't remember the quarterback that year that was top, but meeting Orlando Pace was dope. This is not a trivia question. This is just something. I tell you what, let's give something away right here at this question. So I want you to give your player. Chris Carter went to Ohio State. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Oh, so we got some dogs.
Orlando Pace, Chris Carter. You mentioned Eddie George, Dick LeBeau. Antoine Winfield Sr. Talking about running backs. Jack Tatum. Yes.
This is tough. Okay.
Yes.
All right. This is tough. I tell you what, I'm going to give away a Nick Bosa card here since we're talking about this kid. We're going to do the random giveaway like we normally do. Let's go with this season ticket Nick Bosa joint right here. All right. So we're going to be giving this away. Santonio Holmes, that's right. Yo, so Ohio State produces a lot of receivers, but who is more prominent than Nick Bosa? I mean, like Jack Tatum, maybe?
I mean, no, I would say Orlando Pace. I mean, he was one of those guys that
like 40 years too, yeah.
That, like, I mean, at the left tackle position, you didn't beat him.
Okay.
Orlando Pace is somebody that like Trent Williams looked up to and like, yeah, I want to model my game after that guy. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. All right, I'll tell you what, bro. I like the Orlando Pace selection. I like some of the selections that we saw in the chat. Terry Glenn. Yo, Ohio State got some players.
Joey Galloway. Remember him?
Joey Galloway.
David Boston. He had a nice little run
with the Cardinals. He was all right though. Like he didn't last long enough.
Nah, he had a nice little run. It was a little small. It was short lived.
Marty Marr, what we talking about here, bro? Like what we doing? I was there. I was at that championship game. During that we had the championship game in the pavilion, and I was there watching that when Richard Hamilton and that team, that UConn team, won the championship. And I tell you, boy, UConn, we riot. We don't party, we riot. Like it be cars on fire, stuff flipped over. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy that night. So yeah. All right. So I like that. You guys, this so if you don't know, this is Wind Back Wednesday where we kind of like wind back a little bit. We talk about some history stuff. Nick Bosa just brought up some Ohio State's history, and I thought that was dope. But I think Nick Bosa is probably going to be the greatest player Ohio State whoever went to Ohio State, bro. What are your thoughts on that? He's on that trajectory. That was the whole purpose of this exercise.
Absolutely. He's on that trajectory. And I think one of the things that is not talked about enough, and I think that's why Chase Young talked about, talking about him having short legs, so him having a lower center of gravity, which is crazy because Nick Bosa is still 6'4". So for you to be 6'4" but still have short legs and a low center of gravity, I don't know how that worked out. But for whatever reason, it did, and it did to his advantage. But one of the things that they don't talk about a lot, we only talked about it. Some people talked about it during the off season when he was walking around in the summer with his shirt off, is the fact that he looks like a GI Joe. Like he really, really takes care
His
of
body, yeah.
his body. And when you look at players around the league or in other sports that do what's necessary to take care of their body, they have longevity. Two of the top names that come to mind are LeBron James and Tom Brady, guys who spend over $1.5 million to $2 million on their body every single year so that they can produce and play the sport that they love at a high level. Now, I don't know if Nick is spending that much money, but whatever him and his brother are doing in Florida, they're doing it right because he's taking care of his body. So, if he has, better luck with, injuries than he has had in his past, and he can stay healthy, continue to take care of his body, I think you're absolutely right. I think he can be one of the best in Ohio history, and he could go down as one of the best players in NFL history if he continues to produce like this.
I like that, man. Listen, we got 150, let's say 151 people in this right now. So, guys, you gotta pick a number between 1 and 151. Post your stuff in there. We're gonna talk a little bit about Nick winning Defensive Player of the Year with my man Mose. We'll do that while you guys post your numbers up. I'll go ahead and start the timer. You guys got about, I would say, 60 seconds. So let's go ahead and give away this first card of the day. You guys ready? Go.
Oh, they started already.
Oh, damn. They don't even wait for me to shut up. They just they was like breezy.
We had 5 numbers before you said go.
I love it. I see Eddie was the first number. Yes. So
Yes.
I'll start Eddie's number. All right. And we got the clock going. And so it's all Gucci or whatever. We're not. Let's talk about Nick Bosa winning defensive.
I'm surprised I don't see no 15s in the chat.
So Mo, you talk about Pierre Garçon. You talk about Michael Crabtree. Who we talking about right now?
Talk about Drops McGee.
I know what you talking about.
Oh man, I love it.
All right, guys. And of course, the number went up to 1 as soon as we started. The watch views go up.
Yep.
But I tell you what, it is what it is. Put your number in there. Don't repeat, because if Mo sees a repeated number before this clock go ding ling 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 ling, right?
Yeah, whoever got that number first.
Yeah, that's how we gonna rock with it. All right, that's how we gonna rock.
Y'all gotta be checking the chat because I already see a bunch of duplicate 97s. But I will tell y'all now, if you have 97, Bubbly Doge is the first one. No, wrong. Nope, I'm sorry. Look, even I missed it. Niner Empire Blood Ring.
Guys, I see your questions appearing in the chat. What I'll do is I'll save your questions. So stay to the end of the show. We'll address those right before we get to the poll question. We'll address whatever we see posed as a question, whether you give a super chat or not. If I see a question that's prominent and you want us to answer, and we'll go ahead and take care of that at the end of the show. Here's the random number. I'm hitting the button now, and the number is Patrick freaking Willis. Ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, let's see. Let's go to the top. We got Eddie. Let's see the first 52. Oh, Sky Hill close. I see a 58.
Okay. I don't see a 52.
I see a 55. Oh, I see a 54.
Okay, so that sounds like that looks like it's the closest.
VZ just typed it in. I saw that pop up. That one doesn't count.
VZ did. So who had 54? Because that sounds like that's got to be the one.
Let me scroll back up. 54 closest. It's our brother Raphael.
Raphael, yes, yes. Not my favorite Ninja Turtle name, but yes, Raphael, you are the winner. All right, Raphael, you know what you got to do, man. Hey, either DM me or DM me on any one of the social medias. I'm sure you can figure it out. We'll get this sent out to you. I will be doing a post office run today. So I would like to send it out today because I'm leaving on early Friday morning and I want to make sure this stuff gets out before I take off. We got to talk a little bit about defensive player of the year. Is it clear? We don't have to spend a lot of time on this. Is he the clear front runner for defensive player of the year?
1000%.
Okay, so we don't have to spend any much more time on it. It's clear front runner. So no Micah Parsons, no. Myles Garrett, no. Okay, all right, clear front runner. You heard it right here. I can tell you what, these Beats headphones that I had for 3 years, just been sitting collecting dust. These shits is dope.
Crazy, right?
It sounds good. I can hear bass. Man, what was I thinking? I'm going through stuff, Mose, and I'm throwing stuff out, and I'm looking for stuff that I had, and I'm going to start using it. Cousin Sid, what's going on, baby? I didn't see you in the chat earlier, man. Appreciate you, my guy. All right, Mose, let's go ahead and get down to this Raiders game, okay? 49ers are favored by 6 points against the Raiders. Now, this is important because they're favored by 6. That's +6. They're a road team, Mose. What the heck?
I mean, have you seen the Raiders play this year?
I have, and they kind of confuse me. Is that scary, though, to you? They're a confusing team. So which one you going to get? You going to get the one that Devontae Adams is going to get like 12 yards for the game? Or is he going to get 12 receptions for 135 yards with 3 touchdowns? Like, which one we getting? You going to get the 100-plus Josh Jacobs yard with 2 touchdowns and whatever? Or are you going to get the 30-yard Josh Jacobs? Like, which one do we get from the Raiders?
As long as we don't get the second time they played the Chargers, because that's the only significant win.
Okay. Which was what? Because I don't know.
27-20.
Is that the most they scored all year?
No. They scored more.
Okay.
I think the most that they've scored is.
I want to know what that was and who it was against.
38 against Houston.
Okay. They're not putting up 38 points. That was Houston, by the way.
Right, and that was Houston.
Okay.
They're not putting up 38 against us. They struggled with Denver, but they won that game in OT. Okay. They struggled with the Seahawks. Oh, I'm sorry. They put up 40. They put up 40 against the Seahawks. They won that in overtime. So they struggled against the Seahawks, won that in overtime, and then they beat the Chargers 27-20. But the Chargers also are one of them teams that you don't know what you're going to get from them. So, yeah, as long as we don't get – because I feel like that was the only game on December 4th where they put it all together. As long as we don't get that, like they struggled against the Rams of all teams. They got lucky against New England because of that crazy thing at the end of regulation. And then they had for all intents and purposes, they had that game against Pittsburgh and then lost it at the end. So like they're too up and down and too inconsistent for me. So as long as we don't get the team that played the Chargers on December 4th, we should be totally fine.
All right, so I'm looking at MJR right here. Clearly, he's a Raiders fan. He wants to let us know that they scored 40 against Seattle.
Yeah, I mentioned that. I called it and corrected it.
And then he says this. And see, this is the shit that I'm talking about.
Oh.
So this is what it doesn't worry me. It just like now who do the 49ers have to prepare for? Because when the 49ers prepare
it's Jarrett Stidham.
I hear you, former Patriot, right? I hear you. I understand where you're coming from.
It's just lack of having the knowledge of who he is and what he does. I get it.
And usually it punches the 49ers in the mouth.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care what people say. Carson Wentz punched the 49ers in the mouth, but the 49ers responded like big time. They was like, oh, okay, Wentz. All right, I remember you. You know what? Time to up the pressure. Time to do this. And then he looked like Carson Wentz. I'm not saying Stidham is going to come out there if he plays and does super well, but he's going to surprise the 49ers. And if it's a close game, like it was a close game, the majority of that first half of that Washington Commanders game, It doesn't worry me. It's just more like a damn. Like, can we just get this like why another wrinkle? And so that's what kind of like confuses me. This is why Dion, I call them that Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type of thing. Like they're a team that can put up points. They're a team that has weapons, but they are plagued with the injury bug a little bit right now. And I don't think Chandler Jones, hey, MJR, Chandler Jones being doubtful, it's probably what would you say his percentage of playing is? Because I like Chandler Jones and he always gives the 49ers fits. What do you think his percentage of is going to play? And I'm asking MJR, but I want to know from you as well, Mose, and I'll go ahead and post some of the other stuff while you talk.
Yeah, I will have to confirm. Somebody said the last time when we kind of talked about it that he did more than just injure his elbow or sprain it. Apparently, they say he broke it, which
What?
I don't know. It seemed that seems a little too far fetched. I I think depending on the severity of the injury, if he's already listed as doubtful, also if he hasn't practiced yet, I'm trying to look it up. I'm
Melissa
trying to
says
see
that
if
they're
there's any
out.
note.
Were they already ruled out? I missed that. I'm sorry, Melissa. Thank you. Oh, he said Jones might be done for the season.
Yeah, yeah, that's what they're saying. That's what a lot of people are saying. I haven't confirmed that yet.
I hate injuries. And
Yeah, injuries suck, even if it's a player not on the 49ers, especially somebody who has been as consistent as Chandler Jones has been for 3 different teams.
3 different teams, bro. Crazy.
Let me look
Crazy.
up
All
here.
right. So I knew Perryman was going to be out, though. I knew he was listed doubtful as well. But Melissa Fox, she's the queen of football, especially with the 49ers. And she follows when they got to play teams, she's on it. So we'll go ahead and keep that up there. Look, let's talk about some key matchups in this game. All right. So we're already talking about this is where the game is going to be. It's at 1:05 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Is going to be on Fox. There's your play-by-play. Shout out to 49er Web Zone too for putting this stuff out. That's my family over there, man. So just I want to give them a quick shout out. Let's talk about some key matchups, Mose. I tell you what, give me an offensive key matchup, like from the 49ers to the Raiders defense, and then give me a defensive matchup, 49ers defense to the Raiders offense. I know it sounds the same, but it's totally different in my opinion.
Yeah, so if we're going offense to defense first, I mean, I'm gonna take the easy one, and it's obvious for me because I've been talking about it a lot. It's gonna be the matchup of Mike McGlinchey against Max Crosby. How is Mike McGlinchey going to hold up against a relentless pass rusher as Max Crosby? We talked about him being a power rusher, and he is able to use his power, but he also has that speed element too. He has a lot of different tools in his tool belt that he uses to rush the passer, which has made him so effective this early in his career. So that is the matchup that I'm probably going to be watching the most. Is how is Mike McGlinchey going to hold up against Max Crosby? If he can hold his own and just get through the game. Listen, even if you got a hole once or twice, I know we talked about you and Mike talked about that last night about the holding and the timing of the holding and it messing up drives and things of that nature. But listen, if you got a hole once or twice, just to make sure that Brock Purdy don't get hit, and just to get some knowledge and some information, like, okay, this is how he rushed on this type of play. This is how he rushed on this type of play. Yeah, I held him, and now at least I have the intel and I can kind of set up my pass blocks a little bit differently. If you need to do some information gathering, do as much information gathering as you need. Keep your quarterback upright, and then help that carry you throughout the game. But I'm definitely looking at that matchup because if he's not able to hold his own and Matt Crosby can wreck this game, which I'm sure he wants to do. Everybody's talking about Nick Bosa. Everybody's talking about what great of a pass rusher he is. He's defensive player of the year. He's going not only for the 49ers sack record, but possibly the NFL sack record. So I know Max is going to come 1,000% ready to play in this game and to have his name be mentioned with the likes of a Nick Bosa. So it's definitely going to be McGlinchey versus Crosby for me.
I like that, man. Offensively, I'm looking at. I want to see what Brandon Ayuk is going to go out there and do against some of their young corners like Rocky Sin, Nate Hobbs. those guys out there. This Brandon Ayuk can potentially become 1,000-yard wide receiver. I mean, I know he needs 145 yards. Some receivers can get that in one game. So this might even be a position battle to look out for, like wide receiver versus wide receiver. You go Adams versus Ayuk. But I think I would like to see that matchup. Is Rocketson going to be able to, who lines up predominantly on the left side? And then, they kind of move Ayuk all over the field. So I would like to see what they're going to do. Can Brandon Ayuk kind of like, continue to find ways to get open, which I think he does not struggle against the best defensive backs. And I'm not saying that their guys are bad, but they're definitely not cream of the crop. You know what I mean? And so he has to continue to do that. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Let's go from the defensive side. Let's flip it. I did have to ask you this. How many times do you think, how many pancakes does Mike McGlinchey get in this game?
I thought Mike McGlinchey was allergic to pancakes.
There it is. All right. So give me the defensive flip. 49ers, who are they locking down on the Raiders offensively?
Somebody mentioned it in the chat,
Okay.
and I'm going to steal it. They didn't mention a matchup, but they mentioned the player. They mentioned how Dre Greenlaw is going to play like a man with his hair on fire because of the Pro Bowl snub. So I want to see Dre Greenlaw versus Josh Jacobs. We know that they can run the ball. Josh Jacobs, I think, is top 5 in the league. Let me see if I can pull up his numbers as far as rushing.
Mm-hmm.
Let me take a look at it. He has 15,300. He is 1,539 yards. So he can run the ball. He's had, multiple games of 150, 200 yards this season. So he is a dynamite running back. I know he's frustrated with how the season has gone. So he could also be playing like a man on his hair on fire just because he's going into free agency next year. So he's trying to prove that he is one of the top backs in this league so that not only he can get the bag, but also maybe go to a contending team that needs a running back. So I want to see that matchup, Dre Greenlaw versus Josh Jacobs. We know Dre Greenlaw this year has been a tackle menace. And once he gets to the ball carrier, he's getting there with authority. He's getting there aggressively. And he's making sure he's not missing many tackles this year. So that matchup, Greenlaw versus Josh Jacobs, I'm intrigued to see that one.
And I'm also intrigued to watch another linebacker out there play. Fred Warner against Darren Waller. Like Darren Waller is back, man. So I'm interested to see what the Raiders do in their formations. Will Fred Warner be asked to drop back in coverage or be forced to be, in that run game trying to stop Jacobs? He's gonna have to do it all. But that's the linebacker I want covering Darren Waller. Like that's the guy, right? And so of course, you might have to put your safety on top of them or whatever or whatnot, depending on, like I said, how those Raiders come out. I don't know. I don't know if they do a lot of 3x1s or 3 wide receiver sets. If I'm the Raiders, I'm gonna keep the Niners out of that nickel package. Or do you want to force the Niners to play in the nickel package, switch up Adams, put him in the slot? God, dog it. I don't want to give any tidbits away, but what would you do? Like, because now you're asking Derek Carr, listen, I'm going to put 3 wide receivers on the field at the same time. You're going to get a tight end. You're going to get a running back. That's like that 11 personnel, right? And so now you're forcing them to play nickel, which means you won't see a lot of Azeez Al-Shaair. I'm hoping it's the other way around. I kind of want to see some more Azeez, but unfortunately, it's not up to him. It's unless there's an injury, it's up to the formations from the offensive side. So that's up to their personnel, right? Let's diagnose this just a little bit. We don't got to spend too much time on it, but are the Raiders running a lot of 3 wide receiver sets, which is going to force the Niners to play a lot of nickel?
I honestly don't think that's going to be dictated by the offense. I think that's going to be dictated by our defense. If our defense is continuing to play as well as it's played, and I looked it up, Josh Jacobs is the leading rusher in the NFL with that 1,539 yards. If we're able to slow him down like we've been able to slow down every other running back, and he's not efficient moving the ball on the ground, then that means our defense has effectively forced them out of running the ball, and now they have to pass. Additionally, if our offense is moving the ball well, controlling the clock, and putting up points, they're going to have to find a way to keep up. So I
Okay.
don't think what we do is going to be dictated by their offense. I think our defense is going to dictate to them. You have to be in a 3 wide receiver set, because if you don't, there is no possible way that you're even going to be in this game.
That's so different though, because it's usually the other way around. And right? It's when your defense is that dominant, though, whoa, that's a whole nother conversation. So you're telling me the 49ers, I know they're number one, but now the 49ers are dictating what the offense must come out there in? Ooh. Because usually
you can say dictating, or you can say not even giving them a choice.
that's
Because
the same
we
shit
talked
to
about
me.
we talked about the effect of Javon Kinlaw and what
Mhm.
he was able to do in stopping the run.
That's a
So
great guy.
now he's coming back. He's getting a little bit more healthy. You know, he wants to play more. He's feeling ready to go. And now we have a healthy Kinlaw and a healthy Armstead in the middle. And now those guys behind them who don't have to play starter minutes, they can come in, rotational roles, be a little bit more healthy and not expected to do as much. I think our defensive front is going to do so much to kind of stop this running game and to really take that away from Josh McDaniels, because we've seen it. When you take away the run from Josh McDaniels, this Raiders team does not look as good, because you're putting all of the offense on the back of Derek Carr. And let's just face it, he's a middle of the pack quarterback. So I feel like our defense is going to do a lot of dictating to this Raiders offense. And if they're in a lot of 3 wide receiver sets, that's because the defense is shutting down the run, and the Raiders have no other way to move the ball other than through the air.
I like that. I like that. And then we mentioned their 3 wide receivers. They got Renfro, they got Adams, they got Hollins. Three decent wide receivers in the league. Mose, you talked about 3 wide receiver sets and us facing some of the top echelon 3 wide receiver sets. Doesn't have to be top echelon. It's just the way that they try to utilize. It's more about confusion. So that's why I mentioned them switching up where those receivers go. Because the one thing that Mooney Ward doesn't do is follow the leader, right? So we want him to follow the leader, but he doesn't always follow the leader. So he'll play from side to side, but it's rare to see him play in the slot, right? Because if they put Adams in the slot,
if they put Adams in the slot, Mooney won't be there. Mooney's going to be on the outside. So, he's not going to travel to the slot with Devontae. That if Devontae's in the slot, is going to be Jimmy Ward on him, not Mooney Ward.
All right. So we're going to see how that pans out. What's going on, Trav? Listen, we're doing key matchups. Mose went with his key matchup. We're focusing on the 49ers defense matching up to a player on their offense. Mose, who did you select again?
I went Dre Greenlaw and Josh Jacobs.
And then I went Fred Warner, Darren Waller. Is there a particular key matchup you want the faithful to know about?
Nah, that's more y'all than me. I'm not gonna chime in on that.
Okay. Well, give me somebody on the defensive side from the 49ers that you feel like is gonna have a great game.
Hufanga.
Ooh, I like that.
Ooh.
I think you're gonna see more of them blitzes coming from him.
Shake up Derek Carr, get his ass rattled, get him out of the game, right?
Carr can't. In my opinion, I don't think he does well when rattled. He doesn't have that composure, and he starts forcing.
That's a fact.
I mean, which is most quarterbacks, though. I'm not trying to knock Derek Carr, but
that's a fact.
It's only limited, maybe a handful of quarterbacks that can get rattled and maintain their composure.
I agree 100%. I like that. It's funny we're not mentioning his name because he's been playing all pro. To me, definitely been playing Pro Bowl caliber football, but he's been playing kind of like on an all pro level. He's got the interceptions, but he always has that one play every game where there's going to be some type of miscommunication. And I feel like
he's still young.
And I get it, but do the 49ers have enough to overcome? You don't want him miscommunicating with the Devontae Adams, because at the end of the day, you don't want Adams heating up, right?
No,
you don't
definitely
want him to get hot.
I mean, he's unguardable though. You just got to try to contain him.
Yeah, he's like a Cooper Kupp. I agree with that.
Yeah, you can't stop elite players like that. Like you're not going to stop a Justin Jefferson. You're not going to stop a Stephon Diggs. You can try to limit what they're going to do, but like Cooper Kupp still dropped 100 yards on us. We just kept him out of the end zone.
First
That
game.
yeah, that's the important thing. So I think Devontae Adams is going to eat regardless, but the difference between 70 yards and no touchdowns and 115 yards and a touchdown is going to make a huge difference.
I just got to pull up these stats real quick while you're talking, because I got to look at this guy. So receiving, Devontae Adams against the Steelers had 2 receptions for 15 yards. I would say he was stopped. That's not even contained. That's stopped. We all agree?
Yeah, that's
I think watching that stopped, but watching that game, I think it was less what Pittsburgh was doing and more Josh McDaniels not finding a way to get like Travis said, a guy like that who is so dynamic, there's no possible way that he should have 2 catches for the yards that he had. Like there's no possible way. So I think it's a combination of your offensive coordinator not finding a ways to incorporate him and get rhythm and get him touches early, and then your quarterback not just saying, hey, we're in a must-win game on the road against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have all the emotion in the world because of the unfortunate passing of Franco Harris and retiring his jersey. Yet we have this game in hand down the stretch. Let me find my go-to guy. Let me find my all-pro top 5 wide receiver in the league. There's no way he should come out of that game with 2 catches. So I think it's less of what Pittsburgh did on defense and more of just the offense not funneling the ball through their best player.
Yeah, Derek Carr being rattled.
Right. And if he was rattled, then that factors into what Pittsburgh was doing on defense, though, right? Because look. I didn't watch the game.
Yeah, from a blitzing standpoint, yes. I'm talking about just from a coverage standpoint. I don't think they did anything special in coverage against Devontae Adams. But if the blitzing is what rattled Carr and kept him off of that, which I still think, like Travis saying, those quarterbacks who don't get rattled, those upper echelon guys, they still find their number 1 target no matter what's happening.
I agree, but he found targets, right? So I mean, look, Darren Waller, 4 receptions, 58 yards. Wasn't a high scoring game, so it's not like somebody had a bunch of stuff or whatever. I think Hunter Renfrow had the touchdown, so 4 receptions, 42 yards. Sometimes you got to take what the defense is giving you. So I know we don't want to credit Pittsburgh's defense that much, but you got to credit the defense for shutting them down, because he couldn't get the ball to Devontae Adams, but then he went with the routes that he felt like he could get the ball to. They still lost the game. I'm just saying to say this. Devontae Adams is the guy you definitely plan for. That's the number 1 guy. It's not Waller. It's not Carr. It's how do you find a way, like Travis said, to contain this guy or eliminate him. I like to use the word eliminate. Take his ass out the game. I can tell you how you do it. His name is Mooney Ward.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. 100%.
Now, what I think the Raiders will do is, and every team has done it. So this is why I think the Raiders will do it. Oh my gosh, Adams can't get cooking. Here comes Moses' point, right? It's what Josh McDaniels didn't do. What other teams have done is they took their number 1 guy and put him in a slot. Now it's a mismatch, because now you're asking a non-slot corner to cover the best wide receiver in the NFL, arguably.
And who's that?
I mean, Devontae Adams is still top 5 in my opinion, but
who's going to guard him in the slot? Isn't that Jimmy Ward?
That's going to be Jimmy Ward. Yeah.
And you don't have faith in Jimmy Ward?
It's not about having faith in Jimmy Ward. It's about them switching stuff up on Jimmy Ward. So it's like him getting used to covering Renfrow is one thing, and then him covering Hollins is another thing. Now you're talking about putting the best route runner there. It's just a route. It's the quick feet. Devontae Adams can get open. That's what he does.
I think Devontae Adams for sure top 5. His route running is incredible. He's right up there next to Diggs and Justin Jefferson, and it's going to be a tough task. I mean, so you brought up how he only had 2 catches against the Steelers. He had 9 targets, so it's not like they weren't trying to get him the ball. But the fact that he couldn't get the ball just shows me that Derek Carr. It's not Devontae Adams' job to throw the ball.
Facts.
Right.
So
But they look this way, and there's a bunch of factors in there. Some people said the weather was a factor. It won't be a factor this week, but the weather was a factor. So a bunch of stuff. And the key thing, I think you mentioned it, like before we even got into him being shut down, is how you rattle Derek Carr. And I think the 49ers, in my opinion, have the number one pass rushing defense in the NFL. I mean, they just have the number one defense in the NFL. So rattle is one thing. And it doesn't mean necessarily sacking him. It's getting people in cars like peripheral, getting them to block his vision, getting your hands up on the defensive line, having him feel like there's somebody creeping up to the side of him. And that is rattling Derek Carr, which will eliminate some of that stuff to where he has to only go to those guys he got to get the ball out quicker to. Because Devontae Adams isn't that quick wide receiver. He's the guy developing the route, getting open down the field. So I like when you mentioned Hufanga. Put that guy up in there and on the line of scrimmage. Let him know that I'm coming for you, bro. Boom. Give me somebody on the offensive side you think is going to do really well for the 49ers.
I'm rolling with the hot hand. That boy George Kittle is unstoppable right now.
I'm looking at this defense and I'm trying to figure out who the frick is going to cover George Kittle, bro.
There's nobody. Brock Purdy loves that guy. I mean, Kittle's hungry. He's out there stealing touchdowns, everything. It don't matter.
I'm trying to
top four linebackers are out.
Yo, I told you, bro.
Denzel Perryman, Jayon Brown, Michael Kaiser, and Divine Diablo all injured.
All injured, bro. That's what the Raider fan was coming. He was coming there and saying it's like the injury bug just killed us.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a great one. I feel like George Kittle is gonna have another game. Travis, does George Kittle get 2 more touchdowns this game?
Oh, two might be overzealous, but I think he's for sure getting 1.
If he gets 2 touchdowns this game, does this make George Kittle? He would have 10 touchdowns on the season. He would be leading, I believe, the NFL in touchdowns at the tight end position. I don't know how many Travis Kelce has.
I'll pull it up.
Look that up. That'd be great. But I think he would have 10. He has 8 now. He's number 2 now. That would make him have 10, right? Depending on how the other players play on Sunday or whatnot. I don't know what his yards would be. He's in the 700 mark. Do you think, Trav, that
Kelce has 12?
So he has 12. So he'll still be second. Do you think George Kittle, okay, will be an all-pro tight end this season if he continues to keep this trajectory going?
Yeah, I think he's already a all-pro tight end because he brings something to the table no other tight end does, and that's his ability to block in the run game. That's what I have to factor that. It's his hands are bar none. I mean, Kelce is. I don't think if he had Patrick Mahomes that he would be as lethal as he is. He's, I think if you would have took Kelce and traded his career with Kittle, I think Kittle's stats would surpass Kelce's by a mile.
Mm-hmm.
I think if Kelce had to struggle with the quarterback situation that Kittle's had his entire career, I don't think Kelce's numbers would amount to what George Kittle has achieved underneath the scrutiny of the quarterback situation.
Look, I like that. Terradome says second team. There's 2 levels to all pro, first team, second team. All right. It's just like the all NBA team, first team, second team, whatever. I like that you came out here and you confidently said, yeah, like he's already playing all pro. I just don't know if they factor that in, though, Trev. I can't tell you what the Associated Press and all them people that pick what they use to grade. I mean, there's a list online I think you could read, but that look like bull crap.
I don't even care about that stuff, man. Just like the MLB Hall of Fame. It's all trash, man. Until they put Barry in the Hall of Fame, the Hall of Fame is trash.
Hey, I ain't even mad at you for saying that. I ain't mad at you for saying that. All right, man, let's get to some position battles. We'll do a game prediction, all right, and then we'll do a score prediction, and we'll dip up out of here, right? So position battles. Let's start with Trav. Position, running back versus running back, quarterback versus quarterback. Which position you gonna pick? And give us the 2 players.
What are you talking about? Josh Jacobs versus CMC?
Hey man, that's the one you pick and go rock with it, man. Like who's gonna supersede in this battle? You got you got a Pro Bowl running back going against a Pro Bowl alternate running back. So like
By whose standards? But
right by whoever did the voting bullshit. Like that's what it comes down to. But Josh Jacobs got the stats. He's out there putting in some work.
yeah, but Josh Jacobs ain't played the greatest defense in NFL history.
There it is, man. That's why you here, bro. Talk your talk.
CMC about to go stupid. The Niners are going to put the pause on the Raiders just in general. So every stat line is going to be lopsided. Niners versus the Raiders. In the Niners column, stat being higher is what I'm trying to say.
I like it.
In damn near all positions.
I like it. I like it. Most position battle.
We just talked about it. We just talked about tight ends. So give me George Kittle versus Darren Waller. Because Darren Waller could be considered amongst the league in that top 5 group.
Facts.
Obviously, it's Kelsey and Kittle, Mark Andrews, and then round out the top 5. You could say T.J. Hawkinson, Darren Waller. Prior to Waller's injuries.
Yeah, I said bearing injury, Waller's definitely top 5.
Right. So just looking at that, but then also we talked about who's covering these guys, and I got Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw covering Darren Waller as opposed to Luke Masterson, Curtis Bolton, and Darian Butler covering George Kittle. If I wasn't a 49ers fan, give me Kittle because I have no idea who these dudes are. If I wasn't a 49ers fan, I'm not taking Darren Waller because I know Fred Warner's name. I know Drake Greenlaw's name. So I'm just looking at that matchup, tight end versus tight end university. But then who's guarding those guys?
Yeah.
And then, Trav talked about it. Who's getting them the ball? Derek Carr versus Brock Purdy. And Brock Purdy is just on fire right now. So I'm looking for Kittle to have another big day. And to show why he's the best tight end in the league.
I'm gonna go with the good old cliche position battle. It's Derek Carr, this the veteran, against Brock Purdy, the rookie. And Brock Purdy has already, dismantled the GOAT. I don't see him falling short against a veteran quarterback. I mean, he handled Geno Smith. He's handled every quarterback that he had to face. He's handled top first round draft pick in Tua. He's out there just letting everybody know, like, I'm Brock Purdy, bitch. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what he's doing, yo. And so I'm excited to see, how Brock Purdy's going to respond. Raiders got a defense. I know a lot of their players are injured, but they run that 4-3. That base it's pretty tough. They got some pieces. Their rotational pieces, unfortunately, are going to be starting. I think that the 49ers find a way, to spread them out. So I think Brock Purdy, last game, 5 targets that he used, only 4 of those 5 targets had receptions or whatnot. This might be a different game. So Mose, you mentioned tight ends, but it might not be George Kittle. It may be Tyler Kroft. It may be a different tight end having some fun today. On that day. So look for Brock Purdy to spread the ball around. And I'm definitely excited to see that matchup or whatnot when it comes to the position battle.
I got one more.
For sure.
Brandon Ayuk versus Devontae Adams.
Yeah, so we got to talk about the ones versus the ones, right? And I think that's going to be my Madden cover. All right, I just let you know. Damn.
I got Ayuk, bro. I got Ayuk.
Okay, let's go around the table. Explanation?
Better head coach.
Uh-huh.
Better defense, which means the Niners are going to have the ball more.
Uh-huh.
And the Raiders, I mean, the last couple games they've played a little bit better, but that team in the second half is just, we're a second half team, and the Raiders are the opposite.
Facts.
So it's just a bad look, and in Las Vegas is going to be it's going to be another home game for the Niners. So it's going to be redded out. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be a home game. So yeah. Brandon Ayuk, in my opinion, is elevating his route running skills into the Devontae Adams, the Justin
Justin
Jeffersons, the
Jefferson's.
Stephon Diggs. Like his route running is absolutely disgusting. He's putting people on skates.
I could dig it. I could dig it.
And so
Mo.
when you're gonna have the ball more,
Mm-hmm.
when you have the better head coach,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously because Debo's not playing, that obviously opens up some target share, right?
It does. I mean, look, Ayuk needs 145 yards. Don't force it to him, but get it. He hasn't been forcing it to him, period. He's been finding them wide open. The slant route's been there, and he's able to take a slant and just go, right?
He's not finding him wide open. Brandon Ayuk is making himself wide open with these
Okay.
routes.
Okay. I could dig it. I could dig it.
Shout out to the Raiders room. He just said starting corner Rock Ya-Sin is out as well.
What the fudge?
Damn.
Yeah.
Thank you, Raider Room. I didn't know that. I was waiting for Rock Ya-Sin to play. Like I liked him coming out of college.
Yep. Shout out to Temple, Philly in the building.
Yep. Boom. Damn. All right. So look,
Yeah.
Ayuk has a better game than Devontae Adams.
Yeah. Because again, we talk about those matchups. Talk about those matchups. Who's going to guard Kittle? Now Rock Ya-Sin is out. Who's guarding Ayuk?
I know.
Like, Kyle, come on, man. Like, don't do us like this and have one of them brain fart games. Like, it's set up, like you said, Breezy. We want to play everybody at their best. We want to play everybody at full strength. But this is the reality of
the
NFL. So you have it set up to where you can have a really, really big day. You can go out there, do everything you need to do, get a W, and let's go into next week, trying to move into the number 2 or the number 1 spot if possible, if Philly takes an L. So, man, it's set up. Do what you got to do. But, yeah, I think Ayuk could have a day.
That's a good point by Shades.
Facts.
And Kyle also does this, though. This is one thing I do know just over his years of being here. When guys are close to hitting a milestone, whether it be in touchdowns, yards, receptions, whatever the case may be, he allows them to get that milestone. He kind of looks their way a little bit more to get that milestone.
He's a player's coach.
Exactly. So with everything that he's been through with BA especially, and the way BA has stepped up this year, I think we could see Kyle, throwing a little bit more targets this way, trying to get him that 1,000 yards.
More jet sweeps and stuff.
Look, man, I'm going to say this. Devontae Adams is a better wide receiver than Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah.
But the question is, who's going to have the better game?
Yeah.
And it's written for Ayuk to have the better game. He's going to get the opportunities, right? He's going to have everything that you two gentlemen just said on the show. Now it's his job to go out there and capitalize on it. Get him the damn ball. What Shade said, I thought was pretty dope because you know what, Mose? I like Mike McGlinchey, and I think he's been playing better. I don't want to see him. I just help him. Just give him the help that he needs, whether it's Kyle Juszczyk. And I expect Kyle Juszczyk to be in and George Kittle to be in on that side to give Brock options if they happen to run something that way. Or if you ever there was a play that they ran against, 2 games ago, can't remember who it was. 2 games ago, Ayuk was on that side too. He ran in motion to the left side. They had Juice and Kittle on that side. Christian McCaffrey faked the run that way and cut it back to the left for a big gain. They're gonna figure some stuff out, and I'm saying help him as much as you can. So Trav, you might be right. This might be a 1 touchdown game for George Kittle. I want it to be a 2 touchdown game. I just want him to continue his little streak. He's the hottest 49ers offensive player, and it's dope because every week. This is why the 49ers are hard to beat. Every week, somebody else is getting hot. How do you beat that?
That's coaching. That's coaching. That's picking the matchups. That's like some Kobe Bryant or Jordan stuff, finding the opposing team's weakness and just attacking it. Yeah, just attacking it.
I love it, yo. I love it. Let's do this. Let's do a game prediction, right? So if you can give me what's one thing you feel like is going to happen in this game? Is a player going to score? Person going to get the sack? Blah, 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 blah. Give me one game prediction. Let's start with Mose. Let's go with Trav.
I don't know if I want to say ties or breaks.
It's up to you. He has to
just
do
gonna
it.
go on. We're going to go on the trajectory of what he's been doing. Nick Bosa ties Aldon Smith for the 49er sack record.
So he doesn't get 3 sacks.
No. I think he gets 3 against the Cardinals for 22.5, and that's the NFL record.
Okay, I'm gonna leave you with your game prediction. I like it. A lot of faithful are gonna feel like if he doesn't do it by this game, like breaking Aldon Smith's record is gonna be, whatever. Because that 17 game season, Aldon Smith did it in what 16 games, 17.
16.
You know what I'm saying? It's one more game.
Yeah,
So you're gonna feel like it's not the same. It's whatever.
I don't care. That's not Nick's fault.
Right there.
technically it'll be the same games though because Nick missed a game, didn't he?
Hey,
He did miss the game, Trav. Thank you. He did.
Hot thinking, baby. Way to be quick on your toes, man. You too swift on your toes for these motherfucking. All right, Trav, give me a game prediction, man.
I'm not gonna do a player stat, but I'm gonna have the defense as a whole to force 3 turnovers. Whether it's causing fumbles, whether it's interceptions, it's as a combination, 3 turnovers.
The craziest part about your prediction is in my head. My prediction is that Jimmy Ward is gonna tie no fucking interceptions. So I'm putting a name to your thing.
Okay.
That's not my prediction, but that was something that I was thinking because Jimmy got 3, Hufanga got 4. I think they tie up in this game. But I love that 3 forced turnovers, win the turnover battle, win the game. I like it. Damn, you went defense. Mose went defense. I'm gonna go defense too. I tell you what, yo. The 49ers only give up 6 points this game.
That means they definitely covering because Vegas got a -6, so and they're gonna put up more than 12 points.
I think the 49ers gave up 20 points last week and they were pissed.
Yeah, definitely. You could see in Fred Warner's, he was
No. Here's what I think they were more pissed about. We were we could have set the record for most consecutive games holding teams under 70 yards rushing, and we gave up 79. Now I said, well, it's 8 games under 80. That's got to be a record somewhere too. But that was the record that they were throwing out there. 8 consecutive games of holding teams under 70 yards rushing, and we gave up 79. I think they're more pissed about that. So now they weren't able to set that record by giving up 79 yards, and now you have the NFL's leading rusher. You about to go play him? Oh, they want to make sure that Josh Jacobs gets absolutely nothing.
Yeah. And so with the flip mode, shout out to the Raider Room. Like Raider Room, I don't know how you found this channel, but I be looking for y'all, and I don't know how to find you. I would have had you on the show. Okay.
He seems super knowledgeable, yo. He knows his stuff about the Raiders, man.
I'm gonna give him a round of applause and all the other Raider fans that are in here. I gotta ask this question because listen, here we go. This is what he said. Jacobs is 220 yards away from breaking Marcus Allen's Raiders single season rushing record. 2 games to go. He ain't happy. So this is the flip verse of what you just said, Mose. Only getting 15 carries against Pittsburgh.
He's only going to get 13 against the Niners.
Well, I was about to say, listen,
so we got a pissed off running back and a pissed off defense. Something got to give.
I'm taking 11 over 1 any day,
every day,
all day. Listen, I'm not saying. Look, I appreciate you being here, man. But listen, you're talking about a defense that has been shutting down top-tier running backs. They struggle against non-great running backs in Atlanta, Kansas City, Sorry, Jared McKinnon is not great. They struggle against non-great running backs, right? The top tier ones, they shut them down. I like Josh Jacobs. He's on my fantasy team. I wouldn't be starting him this week. I know this is the championship game. I will go find somebody on the waiver wire that I know is going to be able to give me something. I don't think Jacobs does anything in this game. I think they forced him to throw the ball. So you stop the run, force him to throw, play pass. There's Trav's 3 interceptions. There's Mo's. Mo's. He breaking on the Smith sack record. There's Nick Bosa's 3 sacks in this game. And then records are going to be broken. And unfortunately, I got to stop cursing during the daytime. I was told I can't curse during the daytime. Unfortunately, Josh Jacobs, you're going to have to get 219 yards next week. Because I just
so he only get 1 yard. I like that.
I'm telling yo,
I like that.
Defense is mad, man.
Yo, if he leaves that game with 1 rushing yard, I'm clipping this, dog. We gotta get it clipped.
He's gonna get more than 1 yard, but
he's gonna get more than 1 yard.
Nick Bosa is not gonna let him go outside, and Kinlaw ain't letting him go up the middle.
And
it's bad news for him.
I think they forgot about Kinlaw. I think that's what it is. No hate on y'all defense. Anyway, it's elite. It is a contract year. He wants the record. Listen, we know
that's what I mentioned. He's looking. He's looking to get out of Las Vegas. He don't want to be on his Raiders team no more. He want the bag and he want to go to a contender.
He will when Tom Brady signs there next year.
Ooh, Tom,
that might be the only thing that keeps him there.
That doesn't happen. No.
Why? Josh McDaniels, his old offensive coordinator.
I thought Josh McDaniels was going to get fired.
That's not going to happen.
Okay. All right. I don't know.
Especially after that NFL addendum that talked about coaches. These organizations spending over $500 billion in money they just throwing away to coaches who they hire and fire so quickly, but they still paying out of pocket. We dealt with that multiple years in a row. Firing Chip Kelly, still paying him. Firing Tom Sula, still paying him.
How many Super Bowls has Josh McDaniels won with Brady?
Enough.
He's not one of them first-year head coaches, or
he gets 2 years. He got 2 years in Denver, bro.
He's gonna be fine. I mean, Derek Carr's not the answer.
Nope.
And Devontae Adams is not about to stay on that team if it's not Derek Carr or Tom Brady or an Aaron Rodgers or a Lamar Jackson. He's not. They're going to draft a rookie. They're going to bring in a vet. Derek Carr is going to hit the road.
All right.
Derek Carr going somewhere like Indianapolis.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
Let's wrap this up, guys. All right. So 49ers, Raiders, 7-7. That's the overall record. One of them got to be on top. The 49ers, what's their road record? They lost to Chicago. They lost to Denver.
Atlanta.
So they have 3 losses on the road. How many wins do they have on the road? Let's factor that in as well. I do know that the Raiders, I believe, are 4-2 at home.
I think those numbers are skewed, though.
They could be skewed, but I mean, the numbers are numbers. I mean,
there's 4-3 on the road.
So we're 4-3 on the road. I needed to know that. So the 49ers lost. Do they have a 4-game winning streak on the road? That's my question. Like, that's what I'm asking. See, that throws method to the madness of the question.
I see what you did there. So let's see. Mm-hmm. So within this 8-game winning streak, away, home. That was technically home.
Because the last
we don't have
an 8 or 9.
So what was the last team we lost to the road?
8.
Wasn't it Atlanta?
The last team we lost to on the road was Atlanta. Yes.
So the last team we lost to, period, was Kansas City.
So was I and Breezy. The last home game we lost was Kansas City. Correct.
So how are we not? What was
because the Rams game was on the road.
We won that.
Chargers was at home.
Oh, keep going.
Cardinals was technically a home game for us, even though it was in
that was a road
City.
game. Keep going.
Saints, Dolphins, Bucks, all at home. That was 3. We had 3 home games in a row.
Okay, keep going. Seattle's
away. Commanders home.
So which road game am I missing?
Hold on, let me pull up
I
my
mean,
official
it would be
49ers app on my phone.
it would be 3-game win streak on the road technically, not 4.
Okay, because
If you're counting the Cardinals, it's Rams on the road,
Rams,
Cardinals on the road,
Cardinals.
Seahawks on the road.
But but where's the 4th game is what I'm asking. Is this the 4th game? You said we were 4-3. That's why I'm asking.
No, we won 4
So who
away
did we win?
games.
Who was the 4th?
We beat the Panthers away.
Oh, and then we lost the game on the road, is what you're saying. Yeah, we lost to Atlanta. We lost to Atlanta. So you got a 3-game win streak on the road.
After our last road game,
right,
which we lost to the Falcons, all of our road games after that we won. So yes, we're on a 3-game road win streak.
So I just want to put that out there that the 49ers do know how to win on the road, because a lot of people were saying, well, check their road records, 4-3. That's when Travis came in and said, well, Breezie, them stats are skewed. I'm like, you're right, because there's context to it. But let's talk about this win streak, because now they're going on the road. They're favored by 6, right? A lot of people feel like the 49ers aren't playing well on the road. I would tell you what, Brock Purdy, is he 1-0 on the road?
Yeah.
Seattle, right?
Against Seattle.
On Thursday Night Football. Under the lights. This game
on a short week.
On a short week with
injured ribs.
There you go. I was talking about the ribs. All right. So I'm bringing that to say this. The 49ers on the road have found a way to figure it out. The injury bug, adversity, quarterback situations, Christian McCaffrey's here. They figured it out. I don't feel like the 49ers are going to, mess up on the road against the Las Vegas Raiders, who seem to be struggling with their identity and things like that. Don't get it twisted. This will not be a gimme game. The 49ers still must go out there, like Fred Warner says, play 1-0 football.
1-0 football.
Each and every week. Each and every week. So the defense is there. The offense is putting up 30 purdies. I call it every time we score 30 points, it's a 30 purdy for me. They're putting up points. Let's talk about this. Give me y'all score predictions. I got 2 things we got to do after we do score predictions. I got to do the poll question. 3 things. I got to do the super chats. I was told by the great Mike that we should save our super chats for the end. That way it gives everybody that's just tuning in a nice little recap on what we talked about. So if you're going to give a super chat, save it to the end, or you can give it to the beginning, but they're there. I'm going to read them. And then we're going to answer 2 questions that we started for the show, and we up out of here, right? We're giving y'all a 2-hour show today, just about. Hopefully we finished before that. All right, let's go score predictions. Trav, you start where you got the 49ers. You already know I said we only giving up 6 points, so boom.
I'm going to go with 32-16.
Okay.
My score prediction don't change from the other night, 38-13.
38-13. Listen, mine changed because I just realized that the 49ers defense is mad. Like mad. Dre Greenlaw probably had his worst game of last week. Scoring wise for PFF, it was terrible. Like he dropped an intercept. He couldn't get the intercept. Listen, dudes are going to be mad. I like mad 49ers defenses. I just want them to continue to play smart. In light of saying that, I think the 49ers put up 33 points and only give up 6 points, yo. That's my score prediction, 33-6. Now, if you want to enter in the official score prediction where we give away a nice San Francisco 49er base type of a prize, if you're a Raider fan, you want to enter too, you're going to deal with a 49er, you can sell it. Here we go. You got to join the Facebook group, Nothing But Niners Facebook group. All right. The link will definitely be in the description of the show. You got to answer the 3 questions, join the group or whatever, whatnot. And then on Saturday, which will be New Year's Eve, I'll make sure that the score prediction is there for you guys on Sunday. Enter your score prediction. Put the team that you feel is going to win. Closest score wins the prize. All right. Closest score wins the prize. There you have it. Lock in our score predictions. I see these score predictions out here. They look dope. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's get to this poll question real quick, because will Nick Bosa break Aldon Smith's sack record against the Raiders? All right. That's the question. Now, Mose, you said tied, so you can't change your answer. Trav, though, on the other hand, can give his statement. He has 17.5. He needs 2.5 sacks to break the record. 2.5. It's the number. What you think?
I voted. I put yes.
Oh shit! My bad. I didn't know. My bad. Yeah, I didn't vote. 222 people voted, and 84% of them said yes. This is a game he's going to get 2.5 sacks. He may even get 3, which is what I'm hoping that's the number, so that he, he can definitely, just get closer to that sack record. I want him to break Strahan's record, man. This is a Bosa year, and he deserves it. Like he just deserves it, man. Guy that's battled from an ACL injury. Cats didn't know if he was going to come back as strong. Dude came back stronger than strong. His body, you already talked about how chiseled and in shape he looks. He knows how to train. This dude gets held on every play. Bam. You gotta give Bosa some love out there, man.
How many games did he miss last year?
Oh, it's a good question. I don't know off the top of my head.
It was like at least 3/4 of the season, yeah?
Yeah.
So comeback player of the year.
Not last year, but was it last year? That was 2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago. You're right.
He played the majority of his games last year. Real quick, we got a new member. Jerome is in the house. Watching, man. Appreciate you, Jerome. Thank you for becoming a member of the channel. I'm telling you, I'm encouraging you all, man, to become members. It's just cool. You get perks. It's really cool. If you see your stuff posted up here and highlighted, you get special chats out there on the YouTube where it's just only for members and things like that. But I appreciate you, Jerome, man. Thank you for becoming a member, longtime viewer and subscriber. Thank you for your membership. Nick's in the building. This is before Trav got here. Breezie and Mose, what's going on, family? We win this game 41-17. They never faced a defense like ours. It's some of the stuff you were talking about, guys, earlier. 41-17 is his score prediction. I don't think they give up 17 points, man. They got to make up for the 20, yo. They got to keep that average at 15. I'm going with 6. And then he gave another contribution. He says, have the Niners scoring on defense this game. So this is his game prediction. Don't know if it's a pick 6. Don't know if it's a fumble return, but hopefully it happens. What are your thoughts on this one?
I agree. It's one of them 3 forced turnovers I'm talking about that's going to end up putting some points on the board for us. I like it.
I like it.
I agree with Nick.
You agree too, Most? I do. I feel like this is a game. They get the opportunities. They're there.
1,000%. And I think that interception you talked about, Jimmy Ward getting tying Hufanga, I think that's the one. I'm just throwing that out.
Can I ask y'all a question? Can y'all be honest with me? I feel about getting my Ray Charles mode right now. let me ask you this: if that happens, right? I mean, if it happens, do you feel? I know he said he gonna test free agency, but when 49ers make that man an offer he can't refuse, do you want Jimmy Ward back here, guys?
Well, listen here, Hummingbird. We definitely want Jimmy Ward back, baby.
You gotta love this show. I mean, I know it's not gonna happen, okay, but like, damn, Jimmy, you can't play well at 2 positions. If he would get another interception, it would be his 4th interception as a nickel back. He would have more interceptions than K'Wan Williams had. I want y'all to talk about it. Fuck, we ain't going nowhere till you talk about it.
Well, since everybody doing voices and in the words of Jamie Foxx,
hey,
the 49ers need to make it do what it do, baby.
They need to make it
They need to make it do what it do, baby.
Listen, man, Jimmy Ward is one of those players. He stayed with this team through regimes. Like,
yeah, facts.
So, he was drafted by a completely different front office and coaching staff. So he was able to last through that and become one of the unquestioned leaders on this team. So I feel like if he's producing like this while he's pissed off because he's out of position, I think you do have to at least go to the table and see what he wants. And if you can make it fit in with everything that you're doing, globally with the team, I think you have to reward him for his faithfulness to his team, his commitment to doing his job, even if he didn't like it, for the betterment of the team so that we can win football games. I think you have to reward players like that because you do not get a lot of players like Jimmy Ward in this league to go through everything that he's been through and still be committed to what the goal is on this team and not think about himself first and not complain or go to the media or do stuff on socials. I think you have to reward somebody like that.
Trust in Parag. Make it happen.
Hey. Listen, I know he's gonna test the market. He already said it. But and somebody's gonna pay. Because I personally think wherever D'Amico goes, that's the guy is gonna go with D'Amico, and I'm cool with it. At least he's going to a family that we know, right?
Right.
So I'm cool with it. But man, I would love for him to stay with the 49ers, but that's just me being greedy. Again, ladies, earlier I said the Nothing But Niners group. My apologies. It's that is my family, but it's the Nitty Gritty Niners group. So I do apologize for that. So join the Nitty Gritty Niners group on Facebook. That's where the official giveaway for the score prediction will be. All right, for this New Year's Sunday. We got another contribution we'll read. Christy Marie. Shout out to Christy Marie. Long-time subscriber, long-time member too, because it was on the old channel as well. She says, great show, guys. What time is Madden today? I'm trying to do Madden around 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So between 5 and 5:30. Mainly 5 because I have a gig tonight and I got to make sure I get to my gig on time. Lately, I've been late and I just don't care. But I kind of want to get there on time tonight. So yeah, 5 p.m. The earliest, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The latest. Tune in, guys. I promise you it's going to be an experience. Safe travels to y'all going to Vegas. Her score prediction is 37-10 Niners. 10 points. I could dig it. Thank you for the contribution. A couple of questions from those out there in the chat. Definitely want to highlight some of the questions. I tell you what, I got 2 questions, so I'm going to give them to you. This one is going to be for you, Mose. They're talking about Quantrez Knight. Is he still on the squad? Is Quantrez Knight still on the squad? And then Trav, our special guest, is going to take our next question.
Quantrez Knight, it is still showing that he's on the 49ers. I believe he's on the practice squad. He's not on the active roster.
Correct.
But we still got him. So he's around. He's in the building. So if he needed to be called up, he is available.
There it is. So Quantrez
Knight, if there's any injuries listed for him, but I don't see anything
zero
coming
injuries.
up right now.
0 injuries. He's been on the practice squad all season long. He's been out there just waiting for his number to be called up. And I guarantee you when that time comes, you're going to see another draft, another piece that the 49ers are adding to their dynasty. Quantrez Knight is going to be that guy. Potentially a nickel cornerback, potentially like just watch out for Quantrez Knight. Our next question from AJ Voshin. All right. I thought that said Votron at one point because I know I love Votron. But Voshin says, Breezy, I'm going to give this to my man Trav. Do you think players should get credit for a sack on a 2-point conversion?
I do.
Yes.
I think there should be a few rules that are changed. That included, and I think like the college football, a wide receiver should only need to get 1 foot in.
1 foot inbounds.
That would make NFL so much more lit. Fantasy football would be so much more lit. Points would be scored like crazy.
And it will prevent less injuries.
Yes, prevent less injuries.
Less broken toes, less rolled over ankles, just less.
Yes.
More catches, less everything else. I think they need to factor that out. Good point, Trav. I gotta give you the price is right. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. But listen, Trav, thank you for joining, man. We got one more. Here we go. Breezy, what percentage of the time is the Madden sim correct? Damn it, I don't know. I stopped counting. Once Mose started complaining, I just said F it. That's what I did. Like Mose, can I give my brother Mose some credit? This year, he's been a totally different Mose.
Listen, I had to be. I stayed quiet, bro.
He was quiet all year long. Last year, bro, he was ruthless. Like
but last year, bro, you gotta admit, like it was some bad juju.
Way bad juju. Yo. Like whenever I did it, I felt bad. I was like, I hope nobody tunes in because Mose, he knows he's right. but I got to do it. I got to press through. This year it's been weird because we've lost some of the games in Madden, but won them in real life. So I would say that the percentage is high.
Did we beat the Broncos in Sim?
Yes, but we lost that.
We lost that game.
You know what I'm saying? It's weird. I don't know the percentage. I gave up. So just it's entertainment. That's all it is. Don't think too deep in it. I will say this, Team Cali, Madden shows Breezie's PS5 no love. I'm hearing all the other Madden sims, y'all. 49ers win 95-3. I'm like, what they playing on rookie? Like, how is that possible? You know?
I feel like every time Troy does a sim, the 49ers win.
49ers win. I even put it on 15-minute quarters, y'all, because I'm like, maybe the Niners just need a little time to get going. Nah, it just don't want to show us love. But look, it's fun to watch. You guys are gonna have fun, and I'm just gonna be yelling and crying and kicking and laughing at the screen, right? So you're gonna get Breezie on a watch level opposed to me, and I get to practice my play-by-play analysis too. I think that's one of the reasons why I love to do it. But guys, listen, don't forget to tune into the John and Wayne Show, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, it's going to be on the 49ers Rush channel on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to that as well. Shout out to my man Raphael, who won the Nick Bosa giveaway. And guys, Happy New Year to everybody out there. I know it's early, but Happy New Year, just in case you don't get a chance to tune in tomorrow. Tomorrow will be my last official WayneBreezie show, I believe, of the year. I'll be traveling on Friday, and tomorrow we'll be doing the call-in show. So everybody get ready to call in. Not call in, but be on the damn show. You know what I mean? Call in don't work anymore for me, so I got to figure that out too. So, Trav, it's been a pleasure, man. Thank you, man, and we'll see you soon, right?
Yes, sir. I'm going to be in Vegas. I'm performing at the Niner Invasion.
I'll be there. I want VIP passes. I want Trav to be like, Breezie, get your fat ass on stage. And I'm gonna be like, who, me? Well, I'm gonna make it do what it do, baby. Give me a keyboard, baby, because I'm gonna come out there and just do what I do. But I will be performing. Oh my God, I cannot think of the name of the hotel. I'll be performing that on the 31st from 5. It's a long gig from 5 to 11. So it's a bunch of 1-hour dinner shows. So I'll
Vegas?
be out there, yeah, with my man Davis Cole, another 49er fan, and
hotel.
I got to tell you once we get off, because
shoot me the math.
I'll shoot you the math, bro. That's what it is. That's what it is. But Mose, thank you for jumping on, man. If I don't get a chance to rock with you before the new year, Happy New Year to you and your family as well. Everybody out there, we love y'all. Stay up, stay faithful. It's been a long ass show. Y'all don't get 2-hour shows out of Breezie, but since Travis King was here, we was like, we gonna give it to you, baby. We got you, man. We love you.
Shout out to all the viewers, everybody who left comments and said what's up. Shout out to all y'all. Let's go Niners,
we got one more contribution. Shoot, see, y'all messing me up. See, that's y'all fault. Nick, he said it one more time. Don't forget to support Trav and Breezie in Vegas. If you're going to be out in Vegas, guys, find a way. Now, don't be a stalker, but find a way to get in touch and we could chop it up, take some photos, get some bread, break some bread, whatever it is. All right. Let's have some fun in Vegas, guys. Let's do it. Y'all ready to get up out of here?
Yes, sir.
Yep. All right, man. Peace out. Stay up. Stay faithful. Thanks for watching, y'all.